evening and welcome to Sports Talk Men's College Basketball Edition.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Linsey. Let's open up this discussion with the top team in the country and Atlantic Coast Conference, also known as the ACC. Duke University head coach Mike Krzyzewski. What works with the team and what makes them a threat outside of this conference?
Well, Linsey, Duke has 3 players in double-digit scoring: Paolo Banchero, Wendell Moore Jr., and Trevor Keels. Banchero, who's projected to be top 3 in the NBA draft, is Duke's best player by far. He is averaging 17 points per game and almost 8 rebounds per game, so teams have to be looking out for him. Duke is also 4th in points per game and 3rd in points per game allowed, so these rankings are going to help them both in and outside the conference. They're also 2nd in rebounding and 1st in assists per game, so they'll be an extremely tough time to beat.
That was obvious within the conference against Syracuse. Head coach Jim Boeheim and his zone could not overcome Duke's powerful man-to-man. The Orange traveled to Durham, North Carolina to face the rival Blue Devils. The team's loss to Duke was the worst in 17 matchups, and Duke is currently on a 5-game win streak against Q's. While he wasn't mentioned in your top 3, A.J. Griffin did have 15 points alone from behind the arc, along with Wendell Moore Jr. and Banchero. They had 15 as well. It seems that Duke has a solid team from starters to those that come off of the bench. Krzyzewski nearly cleared out his bench while Coach Boeheim stuck with his starters for the entire game, just about. Off the bench, 5-star recruit Benny Williams only saw 7 minutes of playing time. What do you do about that? How can you have a 5-star recruit on the bench, for that long and he gets garbage playing time?
Well, so Jim Boeheim has been the coach since the 70s for Orange, and he probably thinks that it's been working the entire time. He probably shouldn't change anything. But if you have a 5-star recruit like Benny Williams and you're 9-11 on the season, I think you should be giving him more playing time. You think he deserves it. And like you said to me off camera that even during garbage time, he won't play those players. So I think that he should be starting playing them a little bit more now.
I think that's incredible, Mike. I truly don't understand it. How can you be losing against Duke, which, it happens in the matchups. It's fine. A loss happens to everyone. But how can you be down 30 points to a top-ranked team and still continue to play your starters? I don't understand Jim's coaching strategy. It truly doesn't make any sense. Why not give your bench players some of that playing time? Because that's where they're going to learn. You can only learn so much in practice, and on the court is just where you really put it all together, And not only with your starters being in for so long against just such a strong and physical team, that's where injury comes into play. And unfortunately, Symir Torrance, during that game, he had a knee injury. It was late into the second half, and he now had a sprained knee, and he missed that game against Pitt earlier this week. So looking back at Tuesday's game and ahead at what's in store for Syracuse, they have got to pick it up. I'm not the only one, and we know it. Fans everywhere are so frustrated with our play and our 2-3 zone and probably the coaching, in all honesty. This is the first losing season that Jim Boeheim has had in his 46-year career, which, that's incredible, and the odds are obviously in his favor, but it's still tough to even see a losing team when you're so used to winning or at least having a better than, 500 record. And then looking ahead to the remaining games, who does Syracuse stand a chance against? Are there even any teams that are a for sure win? It used to be Wake Forest because they were at the bottom, but last time we played them when we lost. So what's in store, How do you feel about the current lineup? Are the starters actually working? If not, then who should start? Who should be subbed in?
Well, for the rest of the season, I don't think there are any sure wins for Syracuse anymore. It's getting very close to the start of the tournament. I think it's about to be too late for any sort of improvement for lineup. I'm not really sure if making an adjustment will have any other effect, but I still think that they should at least give Benny Williams more minutes, as I mentioned earlier. After the start, Symir Torrance averages 12.5 minutes per game. I don't think Boeheim is suddenly going to give significantly more minutes to any other bench player.
And that's truly unfortunate because, you're right. There's just so much potential on that bench, and we just never get to see it for more than a few minutes at a time. Like I said, 5-star recruit, Benny Williams, 7 minutes against Duke. Are you kidding? It's just such wasted potential. I mean, I know your starters, in some games they're just phenomenal and they shine. And I saw when I watched the start of the game, they mentioned all 5 starters have double digits, when it comes to scoring, and that's great. But, I mean, it doesn't matter if all 5 starters score in double digits if they don't get the job done. A lot of times Jesse Edwards fouls out, and you have to bring in Samir or maybe Anselm to take his spot quick as we wait because Jesse's on 3 fouls. But it's just tough not seeing the bench and just seeing what could be when other teams unload their bench and, they have the weapons, and we just truly don't know if we actually have those weapons or if Jim just refuses to play them and they sit on the bench and it's just wasted.
Yeah, so like I said, they're 9-11, and that's Jim Boeheim's first losing record in his whole career as a coach. And if you're not going to make an adjustment, I don't think he's going to do it anytime soon. But I believe that he should give more minutes to some of his bench players because clearly this current starting lineup is not working at all.
Yeah, I think so too. Anyway, I think that just about wraps up our college basketball segment. Until next week, the Syracuse Orangemen play against Wake Forest on Saturday, January 29th at 8 p.m. in the Carrier Dome. Wake is currently 7-3 in the conference and on a 4-game win streak, so we will see how Coach Boeheim and his squad match up then. Until next time,